All right, here we go. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. So much to catch up on. Was doing some traveling over the weekend, went to Philadelphia, went to Brooklyn. Now we're back, and it's time to talk about the San Francisco 49ers, a loaded show. So like a great disciple once said, buckle up. Here's what we have cooking up on the docket. The Panthers, still an option for a Jimmy Garoppolo trade. It's not dead yet. We'll dive into that. Also, all signs pointing to Deebo Samuel coming back and signing a contract extension. That's what the All-Pro Fred Warner said a couple of days ago. And rookies are standing out at rookie minicamp for the 49ers. Who are they? Stay tuned to find out. So we start off with Jimmy Garoppolo. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, who's really been in on the Garoppolo front over the last couple of months, said this: Jimmy G going to the Panthers, not completely dead just yet. The Panthers are still looking for veteran quarterback help. As for the quarterbacks currently on the roster, Sam Darnold, Matt Corral out of Ole Miss, who they drafted in the 2022 NFL Draft, and my boy from Temple University, P.J. Walker. But could one of those quarterbacks be moved, and are any of those quarterbacks better right now than Jimmy G with a franchise in the Panthers that does have some pressure to win right now? Maybe not. Jeremy Fowler on the Panthers' interest potentially in Garoppolo. He said this: the door is open slightly for Corral to potentially take the starting quarterback job because the Panthers are still essentially looking for veteran quarterback help. They would like somebody else. That's why the Baker Mayfield situation and Jimmy Garoppolo might not be completely dead at this point. And where we're at a point where this is somewhat unlikely, but we can hold out hope that Garoppolo could be sent from the Bay Area to Carolina because they need a quarterback upgrade. There's some pressure on Matt Rule going into this year to win right now, and I'm not sure you can win right now with Matt Corral. I think the jury is out on Sam Darnold. He ain't a starting quarterback in this league, and Garoppolo could be a very good veteran presence, a very good accomplished starting quarterback who's won 70% of his games. He's made it to 2 NFC Championship games in 3 years to tutor, teach, and help develop Matt Corral, who going into the NFL is somewhat raw coming out of Lane Kiffin's offense, which had a lot of predetermined reads. What better guy out there who could still be potentially available than Garoppolo to help Corral out? Carolina, trade for Jimmy G. Let's go and see what Trey Lance can do in the Bay Area. Will the 49ers end up trading Jimmy G, or will something else happen? It's your opportunity to voice what you think the future for Garoppolo is in the comment section. Give me a T for trade, a K for keep, or a C for cut. Let your voices be heard down below. YouTube has also introduced a new super thanks function where if you like the content that we're pushing out, you can actually show us outside of live videos. So they added super thanks. You can donate outside of some of our live shows. All you have to do is click the thanks icon. It looks just like it does right there, the heart with the $sign. And in advance, we really do appreciate your support. And if you like all the content that we're pushing out, first, you got to subscribe to the channel, but also we grind, we hustle, we bust our asses to push out free daily videos. Even if I was traveling to Philadelphia and Brooklyn, we still had content ready for you. So if you want to super thanks us, we will give you a shout out on the next show. Really do appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with us here on the 49ers Report and making the show a part of your everyday. We continue to move forward with Garoppolo. So Jimmy G's fate might be tied to Trey Lance's development. That coming from Albert Breer. And Lance does have a golden opportunity this offseason to really claim the quarterback one gig. And Steve Young, I also thought, said some interesting things about the development of Trey Lance. Look, there's no surprise that this guy is raw, that this guy needs reps. He just turned 22 years old. He played one game in 2021 and only played one full season of college football at the FCS level. So if Lance shows the coaching staff that he's ready to rock, that he's ready to roll, that he's ready to play and contribute immediately as a starter, that could then lead to Garoppolo playing elsewhere here in 2022. That's what I believe. That's what Albert Breer said as well. I certainly think by the time we get to the end of June, so that's coming up right around the corner, if Trey Lance is where the Niners hope he's going to be a little under 2 months from now, then there would be a motivation to try to move Jimmy Garoppolo then, especially if he can demonstrate to another team that he can throw at that point. And that's what we've been saying all along, right? this offseason, Trey Lance is going to get ample opportunities to prove that he can be the starting quarterback for a team that's ready to win right now in 2022 because Garoppolo underwent shoulder surgery and isn't going to be able to throw until about July, coming off the surgery on the torn capsule in his throwing arm. And Jimmy G's injury is why he was not dealt, hasn't been dealt up to this point, and Jimmy G needs to prove to other teams that he can actually throw the football because he's an off-injured quarterback who has won a lot of games but has struggled to stay on the field a lot. And for teams looking to acquire Garoppolo, they need to see that he's okay, that the shoulder is feeling fine, and if they trade for him, he is not going to be a damaged asset. As I mentioned off the top, today's show straight up loaded. Still to come, Fred Warner may be spilling the beans on a potential Deebo Samuel contract extension. Also, a couple of rookies impressing at minicamp in the shadows of Levi Stadium. Stay tuned for that. It's coming up right around the corner. But first, another opportunity for you to look into the future, look into your crystal ball, and also voice your opinions as to who you want the starting quarterback to be for Kyle Shanahan's offense. Is it Jimmy Garoppolo type JG? There are still Jimmy G truthers out there. I like them. I just think it's time to move on because Lance is the more dynamic threat. That's why I'm typing my TL for Trey Lance. Let me know in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, well, you ain't alive. Also, you got to subscribe to the channel. Why? Daily 49ers coverage, 100% free content because we're not behind a paywall. News, rumors, watch parties coming in the fall. Last year was the first time that we did watch parties here on the 49ers Report on multiple occasions. 100,000 people joined us throughout the course of the day and night. Draft and free agency coverage. We're moving forward still in free agency, but our draft coverage was certainly fantastic. Live shows and audience interaction. Of note, not going live on Tuesday because we are going live on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel for the NBA Draft Lottery. I do a lot of our NBA content here at Chat Sports, but we will be going live on Thursday. Make sure you bookmark that. Just turn on your notifications. Therefore, when we do go live, you will be notified. To what Fred Warner had to say about Deebo Samuel. Fred Warner thinks that Deebo Samuel is going to return to the San Francisco 49ers, and he thinks that the drama of Deebo Samuel wanting out is going to die down, and Deebo is going to be a long-time Niner. This is what Fred Warner had to say in a Twitter Spaces segment with Tom Pelissero a couple days ago, and I understand it did happen a couple days ago, but as I mentioned, I was traveling, and I have some thoughts cooked up about this certain situation. So, Fred Warner on Deebo. I know that this team knows its value in Deebo Samuel. I know that Deebo loves the team that he plays for. That's notable, by the way. I know the type of teammate, the type of player he is in that locker room, the amount of love that we have for him, he has for us as well. So I think it's just a matter of time before something gets done. I'm here for him, and I know we all care a lot about him over in this building, and yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I also thought it was pretty funny. He basically said, I know that everybody is going to aggregate this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Yeah, I'm going to aggregate it too and talk about it. What Fred Warner said about Deebo Samuel and the fact that he thinks he's going to come back to the Niners and sign a contract extension is telling for a few reasons. Fred Warner is the captain of the defense. He's one of the faces of this franchise, and like Deebo Samuel, he's a leader in the locker room. He has a pulse on this roster. And do you think that players don't actually talk? Do you think that players on this roster don't have a group chat talking about their own professional experiences? When they see some of this drama unfold and they see Deebo Samuel demand a trade, you think that Fred Warner, a captain of this team, a leader of the 49ers, isn't reaching out to Deebo Samuel to say, yo, man, we really value you. Is this real? Is there movement behind it? What's going on? And how can we work out ways to solve these types of issues that you have with the front office? So Fred Warner has probably talked to Deebo Samuel. He's probably either in a separate text thread or in a group chat with Deebo, and they probably talked about some of these things and hopefully iron things out. Fred Warner understands the value that Deebo brings to the Niners, and the organization knows the value that Deebo Samuel brings to this football team. We're talking about one of the most valuable players in the National Football League outside of quarterbacks, and it's paramount with a young quarterback in Trey Lance to lock up Deebo Samuel for many years to come. And I think it's only a matter of time before he gets paid as one of the highest paid wide receivers per year. Again, we go back to what we've talked about so much. The Niners as an organization, as a business, hand out contract extensions when training camp comes around. I think that same story and timeline is going to happen with Deebo, and he'll land a deal somewhere in the neighborhood of the top 5 highest paid wide receivers in the NFL Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Brown now, and Stephon Diggs after he got paid as well by the Buffalo Bills. Deebo's going to be a Niner, in my opinion, and I think it's only a matter of time. And the fact that Fred Warner said that as well and shares the same sentiment as me, I do think that is pretty telling. So with what Warner said, with the developments that have taken place, with Deebo putting the Niners back on his Instagram, so much has happened and transpired over the last several months. What's your level of confidence that Deebo will sign a new deal? Scale it for me from 1 to 100. 1, not confident at all. 100, he's inking that deal and he's securing the bag. Now, earlier on, I told you about the super thanks function, and I'm going to give you a shout out. If you give us a super thanks in the comment section and you donate to the show to allow me to feed my family and get some beer money, because as you know, I do like to drink beers. If you also want a shout out, here are a couple ways for you to get some love here on the 49ers Report. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Chase_Senior. It's the same handle on both social media platforms. I want you to screenshot a picture of today's show. If you're watching on your phone, watching on your tablet, watching on a TV, however you consume the 49ers Report, screenshot it. Then either tweet me or put it on your Instagram story, and you have to tag me at Chase_Senior and just show me that you're enjoying today's show. I will give all of you who do that a shout out later on in the week right here on the 49ers Report. Showing love for love right here on the channel because I appreciate and have love for the faithful. So do all of that, and I look forward to seeing all of you show some love, and I'll give you that love right back. As for the rookies who showed up, showed out, turned some heads, and impressed some people during rookie minicamp, Danny Gray, the most notable one of them, the third-round selection wide receiver out of SMU, my favorite pick of the 49ers' 9 draft selections here in the 2022 NFL Draft. He was the best player during rookie minicamp, and he displayed a lot of the attributes that made him a third-round pick. The speed, the most really notable factor of Danny Gray's game. There weren't any cornerbacks during rookie minicamp who were able to put the clamps on Danny Gray. Yes, you'd like to see him go up against some veteran players, but the fact that he performed very well and all the work that we've been seeing him put in on social media is impressive, and it is important for this football team. They could use him as a depth wide receiver and a vertical threat this upcoming year to open up other opportunities for Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. So he caught 4 of 5 targets, and keep in mind he's playing with the Brock Purdy's of the world. He did reel in a 50-yard touchdown, beating the 6th-round cornerback Tariq Castro-Fields out of Penn State. He does need to work on his hands. There was a drop that transpired during rookie minicamp, but he made an acrobatic catch. He caught 4 of 5 targets. He displayed that long vertical speed, and he has dynamic yards after the catch ability, and that's what I said in my scouting evaluations of Danny Gray leading into the NFL Draft, and that's why I had the Niners taking him in a couple of my mocks. Another player who is turning heads a little bit, this time as an undrafted free agent, the safety out of Texas A&M, Leon O'Neal. Now, this is a player who I think has an opportunity to at least crack the practice squad and maybe crack the 53-man roster. We're still not sure who's going to start opposite of Jimmy Ward because Jaquiski Tartt has not come back to the San Francisco 49ers. Could it be Talanoa Hufanga? Could it be Leon O'Neal? He posted a clip on Twitter the other day of a one-handed catch while backpedaling. It was pretty impressive, and he's starting to turn some heads a little bit. He's not scared to bring the boom. He has some decent athletic ability. It was a little bit of a surprise he didn't get drafted, but Danny Gray, Leon O'Neal, 1 draft selection, 1 UDFA, did play very well during rookie minicamp. Lastly, before we hop on out of here, I told you we were covering so much. If you're pumped up for some Niners football because we're actually talking about players being on the field here, then hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day, and don't forget to subscribe.